Welcome to another episode of OneMicNite, the podcast that brings you story of artists and people on their journey, helping to guide, answer questions, and motivate you in life and the business. You already know who I am. It's Marcoso-Luis, and I want to thank you for joining me for this episode. I'm really excited today, as I always am, but I'm very, very excited today because my guest today is going to help us with what we do on the podcast, which is wellness. My guest today is a Reiki practitioner. She's a spiritual coach, aka a psychic medium, and she also calls herself a badass healer. She goes by the name of Nikiya Tucker, MySoulRevalation. Please welcome her to the show. How you doing, Nikiya?
Hey, thank you. That was so fun.
You like that?
Oh yeah, I was like, you know what? Because I was thinking about changing that in my title, and I was like, no, just leave it. Like, do your
Just
thing.
leave it.
Work.
Listen, I have questions. The first question is, who is Nikiya Tucker?
Okay. So I am everything, but then nothing at the same time. So that goes back to spiritual consciousness, and what that means is I'm me, right? But it's like spirit and then becoming a soul, and then a soul embodying in a person. So you're everyone, but then yourself at the same time, and then therefore you're no one because everybody's collective. So I've been doing spiritual healing work for about the past 5 years. And it all started from my grandmother having a stroke. So, and what happened was I was sitting there at bedside. She was disabled and she couldn't move. Her whole body was like, she's completely immobilized. So I was like, there's no way in the world this can last like this. And that's when I heard in my clairaudience, to me, it was like this voice that just came in. It was like, oh, healing hands. And I was like, let me just look this up.
Oh, wow. I want to hold the story right there because I have questions about that, but I also want to know where you came from. Who are you? Like, what's the beginning of Nikiya? We had a little conversation. I'm sorry. I'm going to three things. One, we had a little conversation before we started this, and it was about names. So tell us a little bit about what you feel about names, and then where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Okay, so I grew up here in Brooklyn. So I grew up here in Brooklyn. I went down to Florida for about 3 years, and I just came back to Brooklyn just recently, like literally 30 days ago, right before I met you, in regards to coming to do some deep, deep shadow work and to really kind of like put my business the way I want it. Just as far as it just being fully streamed and just everything being online, as opposed to doing everything in person. I've been doing work in person as well as online, but really just really focusing online and in person, which is expanding. I have been doing the way how I've been doing this work. It's like I've been focused on just the spiritual work. So I call it being the spiritual closet. So recently out, yeah.
You said a spiritual closet. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, because when you're in a spiritual community, it's like it's kind of a closeted thing. Everybody kind of knows in the family. I don't know if you have people in your family like that, but in my family, everybody kind of knew what was happening because when you're gifted like that, other people in your family are gifted as well. But is anybody talking about it? No one's talking about it, so it's very quiet. Because
gifted in terms of you're meaning being able to channel
like
different energy,
seeing spirits, hearing energy, seeing people that passed away, knowing when something is in the room, knowing what someone's thinking. Like it's kind of like it's very closeted. No one says anything, so everybody's feeling the same thing in my family, but no one's saying nothing. So that's what I mean about like spiritually like the spiritual closet. So for me, it's like my family is the Tucker family. What I was telling you before we jumped on this call was when you asked me what my name was, it's like I wasn't even going to mention my last name. And then I'm like, no, that's important because my name is Nikiya. So that's my soul destiny, according to the vowels and the letters and the consonants, right? And it shows like the essence of who you are, soul-wise. And then your last name is the karma that you come in with at birth, as in the karma that you come in with, family stuff, family trauma, family this, things that you're supposed to help your family kind of work through, and things that you also experience in life. So the whole point is soul growth. So you have to have the soul first. And then it's really experience. So it comes with your family. So that's why when you asked, I was like,
Interesting. That's very interesting. And yeah, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I noticed because my brother has, it's really interesting because when I was born, my mom and my father were married, right? But her maiden name was Tucker. And for some reason, I got her maiden name.
Mm,
And father's my father's last name, but they were married. So it was no reason as to why I didn't get her last name, which was his at the time. And it's because I noticed that my karma was to work through my family's karma on the Tucker side, and my brother's was to work through the karma on the Roberts side. So it's like, one kid belongs to one family karmically, and the other kid belongs to the other family karmically. So,
wow.
so think about
That's,
that.
yeah, that's
Whatever
very
your
deep.
last name is, think about your family. Which family do you resonate with the most, and what karmic baggage or what struggles or challenges they've had, or what luck they've had?
What would you say about people who change their names in the midst of their lives unknowingly that that's what they're doing, like with the karma and with the
They're literally
that's
divorced. They're ending what we call soul contracts. So they're ending soul contracts, and just
soul
adopt.
contracts. Oh my God. Let's go. Let's go. This is, yeah, let's go.
Oh,
Let's
oh,
go.
well,
See that energy?
yeah. I was gonna tell you like, ooh, but no. So that's been so ever since I was younger. I was told you're going to be a teacher, and I was like, oh, they don't make any money. Like, no, I'm not. I've been told this by so many people, didn't know why in a spiritual community, but no one would ever say why. They're like, oh, but you're gonna be a spiritual teacher. I'm like, okay, I teach like Hebrew to like the kids, right? But I'm like, what do you mean spiritual teacher? I'm like, well, I guess that's maybe what they mean, right?
Hmm.
And then I just recognized once I really got into the work, just as far as like really just kind of like looking through it and finding all these like parallel like all these similarities to what I was dealing with. I'm like, oh, you've been doing this for years. Oh, you've been doing this for years. Oh, you've been doing this unconsciously for years. Like this has just been always been your spiritual practice. And now you're reading about it and realizing that there's a method to the madness. You just thought you needed to do it to clear the room. But there's a whole community behind this that, like I said, because when you're in like, when you don't go to metaphysical stores, when you're not mixing and mingling with people that's actually doing spiritual work, you don't really know why you're doing something. You're just naturally inclined to do so. So for me, it was like, all right, let's go.
I mean, how do you know to be in tune to something like that? How do you know what's the key for you? Like, how do you even know?
Okay, so it comes up this way for me. It can come up one of two ways. When you're doing something, it might, even if it feels crazy, right? You're like, no one taught me how to do this. I'm just doing it. Like some people, let me give an example. It's like sometimes you're in a room, right? And the
Mhm.
room is dark. And for some reason, you feel inclined because you feel, it almost feels like energy. Sometimes you pick up our energy, you're sitting in a room and you're by yourself. And then all of a sudden you feel like, it almost feels like a cover being placed over you, or like someone just coming really close to you. And your instant reaction is to turn on a light, right?
Right.
Or to leave the room. The reason why you're doing that is because you're naturally inclined to know when energy is around you. So you can tell when a physical body is standing in a room with you versus someone who is just an energetic body that's also in the room, because it's all energy. So the way how once you turn on that light, that's a natural inclination to remove that energy out the room just by flicking on the light. Because
Does,
once light, there's no more darkness.
does everyone have that? Does everyone have that, or are more people, some people more in tune to it than others?
One has it, but you end up kind of ignoring it, shutting it off, or just pushing out of your life and not wanting anything to do with it. So I have people in my family that were just as inclined as me, but then they're able to sleep in the dark. I can't do it.
Really?
I can't do it. No.
Because the
And
energy is there.
yeah. And for me, it's when you're of like a light body, what happens is when you're of a light body, when you turn off the light, you're the only light in the room. So you have to think about it. It's almost like a lighthouse. You're the only light in the room. So that means any energy, anything that wants to communicate can just easily just come and connect with you so easily because you're the only light source. So That's what I mean about like the mediumship part, which I was like, oh.
Right. That's interesting because I don't think a lot of people think of themselves as being a light in that metaphor.
Yeah,
You know, I
they
don't think
should.
the average person thinks of themselves as being a light.
They should.
They
Because
really should.
yeah, like think about it. If anybody's a light. When you walk in a room, people
Mhm.
automatically start coming toward you and start talking to you. Good people and some people that you don't really want to be around, like what they consider people that are, I wouldn't say dark souls, but people that are really up to no good for some
Mhm.
reason, gravitate toward you as well because they see something in you, as in they see your light and they just want to go by it. Look at it like moths to a flame, basically.
Right. Okay.
Right?
So yeah, sort of like the intuition too. You know, when you know someone's up to no good, or you just get the bad feeling in the
Okay.
room, you know that something's going to happen, so you get out. I've been in a situation like that even on the train.
Yeah.
Not only, you see someone and the energy's just not right, so you just get off and you go into the next car, and then you find out later something happened in the car that you were in.
Yeah. Yeah. Just roll with it. I'll tell you though, whatever that little voice in your head, and they say the little voice in your head, whatever you
Mhm.
hear, just go with it. You don't need to understand why. You don't need to overutilize your logic and try to figure out why you're thinking that way. Because the more you're doing that, you're really just delaying the process. But naturally, your body, your intuition is picking up on things. It's just we're often taught to like second guess ourselves, and that's how we end up in these situations. And then you say, "Oh, I saw that coming." So I was like, "No,
So,
you didn't."
yeah, so
Hindsight.
so we're thinking
So
about it. We logically think about it, but we're not listening to the intuition and the energy in our bodies telling you, and even sometimes the physicality of it telling you either to move away, or like if it's bad energy, get away from that person, block that energy, or whatever it needs to be, right?
So a trick that I often tell people, because I'll get asked all the time, like, how do you know when someone's good for you and when they're bad for you? Excuse me. It's energy. So what you're gonna notice is when you're talking to someone and they're a great person, you're gonna feel it here in your chest because it's heart centered. But if they're bad for you, you're gonna feel it directly in your solar plexus and your stomach region. So it's gonna feel like you get stomach cramps. That's what it feels like.
Okay. How do we find a place where it's peaceful? Like what brings peace to us? Maybe meditation or something like that. What do you?
Okay, so I'm just gonna let you know. Okay, because I move a lot of energy for me, the more like when I'm channeling and moving information, it makes me like literally cough and choke, and it literally feels like my throat is being like squeezed.
Really?
So yeah, so whenever I'm doing any kind of like spiritual work, I tell people because you're moving a lot of energy, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Because you'll literally like for me, I'll feel it just like literally feeling like my throat is being closed. Yeah. Yeah.
So it
So
manifests in the physical. Yeah.
I won't even be able to finish the conversation if we're talking and I'm talking about like energy work and like spiritual work, like literally it'll just start closing on me.
Wow.
So I learned that from another medium. I was like, why does that happen? And she's like, yeah, because you're moving a lot of energy. So you have to like replenish the throat chakra because if not, it's going to start closing on you. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have a little something on SoundCloud that I listen to, and it's definitely something. I'm going to put the link down in the bottom because I want everybody to hear this. But it is I guess, a meditation for you, and I think you call it back to center. Is that what you call it? Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
So it's funny because I literally I I was in Florida and I met with my shaman, right? And she's like, well, they're kind of telling me that you're gonna be into your spiritual work full time. You're not gonna be doing another job, no more of that. And I was like, okay. And I was like, no, come on. And she's like, nope, you're saying it. And I've been told this so many times, like, okay, when are you gonna stop the corporate? When are you gonna stop that song and dance? And I'm like, oh, when I'm good and ready. And I literally had that conversation with her on a Thursday, and she's like, oh, they're also showing me that you're going to be recording your meditations. Because I've been doing meditations, guided visual manifestation meditations, with groups of folks in Florida for quite some time now. And it's all about cleansing and clearing the chakra body and then visualizing what it is that you're trying to manifest. to bring it into your reality. So what you're doing is connecting your heart with your intention and the energy to culminate in like your reality. And I literally went and recorded that session the next day.
Wow. Wow.
I was in New York. Like, cause it was like the moment I accepted it and did that meditation, it was like everything started switching on me. And I was like, okay, so I guess I'm supposed to go and finish building out the business in New York.
I'm going to tell you, because I was listening to it, and it's one of those things that you listen to over and over again. And it's sort of helped me find that peaceful place. It helps me, like you said, with the intention. And now I'm starting to manifest more things. But you talk about some things in there, and I don't know, like some terms like third eye, the chakra, which a lot of people who are listening today may not know what it is. But can you explain some of these things, like the energy moving? And I think you said something like the crown.
Okay, let's go. Come on.
Let's do it. What would you say chakra is in the third eye?
Okay, so your chakra or chakra, however you want to pronounce it, is chakra. Are your energy centers. So we have 7 energy centers within our bodies. And we also have a whole bunch of other energy centers as well outside of our bodies that hone in your energy, that hones in your power, but it's all associated with, I would say, like with a sense, with a gift at the same time. So starting from your head, it's called the crown chakra. And that's how you connect with God, spirit, source, your higher self, anything within the spiritual realm, which also includes your higher self, right? Your big higher self.
Me being the light.
Yes, that's true. Notice whenever anybody closes their eyes, the way how I started the meditation was you automatically take your attention 300 feet above. And that's the ethereal plane. That's like where all spirit forms tend to hang out and dwell. So that's why when you close your eyes, you tend to kind of always think about the area above you. It's natural. So that's why I said you're intuitively inclined to do something natural and connect spiritually, whether you know it or not. Whether you realize why you're doing it or not. Like everybody, when they close their eyes and pray, they typically go with it. So
they're going higher. Okay.
Yeah.
And regardless as to whatever you call it, God, Allah, chicken salad, whatever your energy, higher being, creative force is. Yeah.
Whatever. So it's funny because I was raised Jewish, right? Get into that later. I was raised Jewish and I don't know anything. Like literally the way how Jewish people are raised, they kind of don't know anything about any other religions. Like I would say we're the most unlearned people in terms of knowing other religions because it's so fixated on just like Jewish law and order and the Torah and back and forth. So if you ask me like years ago, any questions about anybody else's, like what they believed, like what their books were, I'm like, I don't know. I can tell you what the name of the book is, but I can't tell you anything that's in the book. I can't tell you.
Interesting.
When I was doing spiritual work on people, I would just see like this God just kind of come in. And I'm like, okay, I don't know the name of this person, but I'm just going to tell you what they look like. And I was working with someone and then Isa just popped down. And she's like this golden winged goddess with like this whole thing happening. I was like, so there's like a woman who dropped up wings. So she goes, oh yeah, you mean this? I'm like, okay, who is that? Like, so I've been seeing different energy according to who you ascribe to. So whatever you believe is your energy is extended and connected to whatever you believe. So however you connect to that one source appears in that form. So that's why when people are like, oh, my religion's better than yours, that's bullshit. Because it all exists and it's all true for every single person because it all goes back to one source. It's like all goes back to one source.
It is. And I have to agree with you fully. Now, see, I was brought up in a Baptist household, right? But my grandmother used to babysit for a Jewish family. So I'm very familiar with the Jewish religion. A lot of my friends are Buddhist, Muslim, but I wasn't baptized Christian. My mother allowed me to choose what I wanted to choose. So there within, when I'm growing up, I choose to be called the high energy, everything and nothing at the same time. You can call it God. Like I said, I was joking, but you can call it chicken salad. You can call it whatever you want to, but it's an energy that's responsible for everything. So that for me is God. That's the creation. It's not one person. It's everything and nothing at the same time. It's every color. It's every shape. It's everything for me.
Yeah, that's why when you ask me, I'm like, I'm everything and nothing at the same
Exactly.
consciousness. So I'll take it back to the Bible because this is the only way, because how I had to rationalize it myself was
Hmm.
like Bible, you actually see like the clues and all the information is there, but they just don't say it plainly. So in Leviticus, right?
Hmm.
Like beginning, it's like God created the heavens and earth, but then he created man. But they said, let us create man in our image. So they're like, let us create men in our image. Like, what is that? So
What is that?
angels, right? But let us create them in our image. And it was like, okay, so he created man. And they said, okay, and then now he formed a body. So, and then he formed a body. So you have to think about that. So what is God? It's just spirit.
Right. Exactly.
Consciousness. And our image are the angels, the different elementals that are actually within that etheric realm. So when they create your soul, it's your personality. It's the good, the bad, the anger, the lust, the love, the passion, the everything that makes you in your head before it comes into a body.
Right.
That's so when they say like, if you create something,
Right.
you're also connected with that as well. So that's why I said the God is in me and the God is in you. So I'm like everything and nothing at the same time because we're all connected.
Absolutely. And then for me, I have questions because I wasn't there when the Bible was written. I don't know who wrote the Bible. It's been translated in many languages. Some things have been omitted. Some things have been put in. I need proof. And I don't doubt that there were people who came who were prophets and things like that speaking, and maybe the energy was with them and they did some fantastic things. I don't doubt that. But I have questions. I have questions.
So
I got a lot of questions.
all right. So a lot of times I always say go within, right? So there's if you ever sit in meditation,
Hmm.
you can ask a question to yourself, to your spiritual team, whoever that is, your ancestors, and just ask a question for clarification. And when you're in quiet, like no phone, everything's turned off, and you just sit, they call like resting in your power, you'd be surprised just like the calm and the information that comes to you. And that's just that's your way of connecting. And that's the information that you get. Sometimes it's a word, sometimes it's a song. It comes to you in whatever form that whatever you're receptive to. It can come to you on like some random quote that you hear or you see, or someone just says something to you on somebody's back. Like it's whatever you need and what you're going to pay attention to. So some people come to them in numbers, like, okay. Like, all right.
Should we do that? I mean, how often should we do that? That's something that's important. That brings clarity to life. Why wouldn't we do that? Who doesn't do that? And should they?
I say you should spend some time like meditating, but you should also spend some time in the physical world because there's things happening. I can meditate like for a lot of hours.
Right.
But then out online, like the whole point is to really just truly have.
So who doesn't meditate? I mean, we should all meditate.
Well, I'll tell you, I didn't meditate ever. I didn't meditate ever. Ever. Because you're so busy. So being from New York, I kind of was always on the go, on the go, on the go, on the go. You're always doing something. You're always somewhere. It's like the city that never sleeps, and neither do you. So, and now they've introduced the phone, which I love. Phones and reels, they're entertaining. But you go in that scroll hole, and you literally spend hours.
You said scroll hole. That's exactly what it is.
The rabbit
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah.
And you're just doing this, like
Right.
so.
Yeah.
Going in the hole.
You get so consumed by it. Yeah. By all that.
Yeah, and then
And
you
is
look
it
at the
bringing you
phone.
value?
No, if anything, it's always making you look outside, right?
Hmm.
So the things that by meditating, you're always going within. So the reason why people are always looking outside is because they're trying to figure out what the next person's doing or what they should be doing or what their stuff should look like. And that takes you everywhere else, but not here. So you end up being scattered. So for me, the meditation was big because after a while, the distractions became like overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then you pulled in like other things that kind of like to stop being so distracted and overwhelmed. Like I would just kind of just keep on going till I couldn't go anymore. Like I'm talking about like going out until like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, going to sleep and just waking up. And then as soon as you wake up, you're running
Yeah.
on the next thing.
For sure.
So I just feel like the meditation has helped me a lot. And I think anybody who doesn't meditate, they should, because it brings so much clarity and just so much peace above anything else. It brings an inner peace that allows you not to be so reactive.
Right.
Every time you react,
Groundedness, peace, groundedness. Yeah.
yeah, because when you react, you're giving people your energy. So I say, look at your energy like the Mario Brothers. You know when you hit them, like all the points go bing, bing, bing,
Right.
bing.
Yeah. That's a good
So
analogy.
energy is being that. Every time when someone, and what I mean is talking to people, hanging out with people, that's great. People that are on the same page as you, people that mean you well, that's great. That's amazing. But when like you're pulling up to the gas station and someone's like cleaning out their car instead of like moving out the pump, don't even waste your time arguing with them. They
Right.
have something happening here. That's not even about you. They have something else that's going on. Just pull around, because the moment you even get into an argument, an altercation with someone, you're just giving them your energy. You're really just giving them your power. And meditation brings it back to center. That's why I called it back to center. It's pulling in all your energy and bringing it back here and literally pulling it through all the chakra bodies. So I know you were asking about the chakra bodies.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, there's like a pivot.
And you brought it home with that.
Yeah. So the crown is first. You want me to go through all the chakras?
Yeah, sure.
Or you want me to tell you about the fun ones? They're all fun. So that's how you connect. So it's called the crown chakra, is at the very top of your head. So it's easy to remember that one. That's how you connect to spirit, source, God, your angels, your ancestors, whoever you connect to, it's there. Your third eye chakra, we call that your third eye, or your like clairvoyance, is how you see. So how you, like when you're thinking about like the movie you're going to watch or the concert you're going to go to, or you just going to the store, when you think about that, you probably think about a mental picture. That's your third eye. So if you think about like work, like, I really don't want to go there today because all it's going to go crazy. That's you projecting like a projector your reality. And when you work to work, when you go to work, all of a sudden when you show up, that environment is exactly how you pictured it. Why?
That's your third eye. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we need to focus that third eye to make it something positive instead of projecting all the bad things and bad energy that's going to happen around you.
Just focus on what you want, because that's what you're going to see more of. So it's like a lens, right? And then you have your throat chakra, which is really it's how you receive and perceive information that's coming to you verbally. So it's through your ears and your throat and your mouth. Like it's this whole region here. That's why I was saying whenever I'm speaking and we're talking about like energy work and back and forth, because I'm using my throat chakra a lot, that's why it'll start clouding up. So that's how you also hear things. So when I'm saying like how you receive information, how you give out communication to people, that's your throat chakra. And then you have your heart chakra, which everybody knows that one. That's love, compassion, empathy. That's also how you give it as well to others. And then that's funny because that's the bridge. That's the bridge between, these are considered your spiritual chakras, right? And then the heart is the bridge between that one and your physical. So yeah, so the heart is like how you feel.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. That's why I said if you're talking to someone and they're really, really good for you, you'll feel like a bubbliness in your heart. It'll feel like either soda or like some like high lift. You'll feel it kind of like circulating here. You'll feel your heart like tickling a little bit.
Okay. All right.
You know, in alignment with you, like it's heart centered, right?
Right.
Then you have your solar plexus, which is right here. It's at your sternum, like right here at your sternum, like where it says when you gut punch somebody, it's like literally here in the solar plexus. So that's your power center. That's your I am. That's how you identify yourself in this world. So I am strong. I am powerful. I'm all, like anything that you say that I am energy, I am that I am.
Right.
You are you say you are. So that's there. So if you feel that area draining, like it's being pulled and you start to like kind of hunch down, that means that your power center is being drained. That's where you give out your energy actually. So if you feel that pull, where you're like, oh, your stomach starts hurting when you're talking to someone, get away from them.
Get away from them. What do we do? I mean, I think this maybe goes back to what you were saying, the meditation. What do we do to recharge ourselves? What do we do to, keep those, like if you feel like you're drained and you're, just life in general?
Yeah. I say first thing you want to do, if you feel that drain, remove yourself from the situation as quickly as possible. Like, and removing yourself is literally just creating a boundary, whether that's a verbal boundary, like if you're with loved ones, or you're in your house, you can't just leave.
Right. You
You're on
can,
my
but
block.
you can't.
You're on my block when you come back. You know? So you can't leave. So what you do is just assert a boundary, like, hey, I'm not really interested in talking about that right now, or that's not making me feel very comfortable. So can we just please have this conversation another day? There's always a diplomatic way of asserting a boundary. And once you do that, your boundary is up. You've also honored your own integrity and how you feel about things. So then you'll feel that energy just start to lift. You won't feel drained anymore. And that's for people that live with people, come in contact with people when you're on the train and you're next to like people and you can't like get away from people. Just assert your boundaries. And it protects your power center. Yeah.
And then you can also, like we just talked about, go into that space. Say if you're on the train, you go into that space for yourself where you're meditating and you're creating your own, energy boundaries. Mm-hmm. I've had to do that at my job. There's no secret that I have a 9-to-5 job. I've had to do that at my job to preserve myself, because I feel the energy sometimes of people. Mm-hmm. So I've had to, like, I'm gonna keep 100. I actually had to put a physical boundary around myself, like turn around in circles, close my eyes, and put up a boundary to know that I'm protected and be able to, I guess,
Let me tell you, that's your intuition. That's you being inclined to do that, right? You have to put a physical boundary. I'll tell you a trick of what you can do. Mm-hmm. What you do is literally see yourself, whether you have to close your eyes, even for a moment, being covered by a white light. Mm-hmm. Or any color that you like. Like, what's your favorite color, blue?
Actually, no, gray is my favorite color.
So gray, right?
Yeah.
So see yourself being covered by that gray light, right? And just see yourself literally being wrapped by that because that's your protection source. And then just what you're going to do, your intention is that you're only allowing energy that is of identical match and that is loving to you to penetrate through your protective boundary. And then when you do that, walk back out and you'll notice that that person who was acting all cranky either is ignoring you, saying less to you, and they kind of got the message. Like, because people pick up our energy consciously and unconsciously as well. Once you put up your boundary, people tend to move away. Right. Or to stop bothering you. They kind of get the hint. So once you do it, they're like, okay, they got it. Even if they do it unconsciously, like they don't know that you did it, they just can feel it. And they're no longer even interested in like penetrating your world at that point. Try it.
Beautiful. I love that. I'm definitely going to try that. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of times too, we talk about vibrations and you can pick up on people's vibrations when they walk in the room. Yeah. And I think a lot of times, I'm not, sometimes you might have a high vibration and that's what they're, like trying to figure out for themselves. So they push up against it and then you have to protect yourself and figure out a way to, navigate through that whole situation. So I think that's a lot of times that's what it is.
They see your light and your light, like most people are like most people and also animals. I was gonna say animals, insects, they're curious of your light. So they'll come up next to you like if like bees. Oh God. It's like when you're a high vibe person, bees are attracted to you, like ink. Like they always come to check you out. And I always admit that they were trying to sting me, so I would run. And then they would take off behind me and they're like, they're not trying to sting you. But I'm like, but why? If I'm standing here.
Because they know you're the queen bee. That's right. They're trying to protect you.
I was like, oh my God. I need a net, like a hat with a net. Right. So, but that's your high vibe. So you walk into that room and you own it and just understand once you assert your boundary, they can't bother you anymore. If anything, just see it as that shield, like literally see that gray around you as a shield and it'll make you feel better. It'll also allow that energy to move away from you.
Beautiful.
And that goes for everything and everyone, like
everyone. I want to talk about a couple of things on your social media. So you guys, I'm going to put the link for her social media down in the notes of the episode. I want you to check out her social media because it's inspiring. It's beautiful. It's everything. You need to take a look. You have a couple of little sayings on there and you're doing a challenge, which I think is incredible too. So let's talk about both. So first I'm going to hit you with this one. On your social media, you got a thing there that says sometimes we need to hear the inner voice. Mm-hmm. What does that inner voice do for us?
The inner voice is your guidance. That's your guidance. Whether that's you, again, your angels, because angels are with us every day. Whether we like, angels are with you, and once you ask for their help, they're there. But that's your ancestors, that's previous people that you've known that passed away, that's previous people that sign up to be your guardian angels, that like the neighbor that passed away down the block that just saw you.
Ooh.
And didn't like come in contact with you, but then they sign up. That's what they call your soul family, to kind of watch out for you and protect
My
you.
soul family, yes. My soul family. Yeah.
Inner self, right?
Right.
That's really hear the inner voice. So you'll hear your voice, and then also when you hear another voice and it sounds like another voice outside of you, that's typically your soul family and your guardian angels just coming in. And that's what you'll hear. So if you ever get really, really quiet, I always say just ask a question, and that the voice that comes to you is always, that's your guidance right there. Like, we don't even, it could be a word, it could be a song, it could be a quote. Sometimes you'll just see a word in your mind's eye, like you'll literally see like the other word for me the other day was focus. Focus. And I'm like, all right, fine, okay. Okay, all right. Or the song Practice What You Preach, when I woke up in the morning. Practice what you preach, right? And it's because the 369 method, I was telling everyone to do it during the challenge, but it was like I needed to make sure I was doing it in the morning, which I've been doing. But in the morning when I woke up, after my meditation, I just heard that song. I'm like, okay, you guys, I know. Let me break out this book right now. You know? So that's why it's so fun to me, because I'm really just kind of telling you the things that I've learned and the things that worked for me, and also that worked for other people as a proven method, to be able to get what they want. You know? Right.
Another one you have up there is talk less and listen more. That's always a good one.
Yeah.
That's probably the best one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I always say you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So you can talk, you can listen 2 times better than you can actually talk. So you're not going to receive information, you're not going to receive guidance if you're always running your mouth. You have to be quiet.
Gotta listen. Listen. Yeah. Learning. Tell us about the challenge you have. You're manifesting some things.
So the 21-day Manifest Your Reality Challenge is literally where we are pulling upon all the different things I've learned about manifestation that I tried. Believe me, I've tried it. I was that logical bee. Like, I'm very intuitive, but for me, it was like, no, I have to see it. I have to see it. It has to be in physical form for me. And that's when I told you I was like blocking everything out, right? And this is bringing you back to center, to where you are allowed to dream and desire the things that you want, to bring them into your reality. So the way how we're doing this is like, literally, I'm just telling you tips and tricks and things that you can do, daily practices, to be able to bring your manifestations closer to you and therefore show up in your reality. And this is like, it's a spiritual teaching to where you can literally have whatever you want. You just have to decide what that is and then want it and not doubt it. So your everyday, there's things that you want, and we manifest things all the time. It's just that you're not really recognizing that you're manifesting it. It's just, you think that like, oh, I'm just having a really great day today. Like, right. Yep. Or you're like, it's gonna be terrible. And guess what? Typically, the day is terrible. You're like, damn, this is the worst day of my life. It's like, well, you said that in the morning. So and that was your intention.
With the manifestation, would you say it's sort of like having your intention or having your goal, and then you're subconsciously working towards that, whether you know it or not? I mean, it's just still working towards that goal.
No, it's a little different. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's not using the physical, it's using the spiritual, and allowing the spiritual side to bring all these desires that you want in your physical reality without you placing effort. The effort is your intention and what you're paying attention. The inspired action is what I would say is your physical reality that's culminating. That comes out, right? But specifically, it's all about like bringing in the spiritual aspect of everything, bringing in your attention and energy into what you want so it can show up. So, and it's not working too hard for it, because we always think that everything implies work, right? But that's just what we've been taught. Everything doesn't require work. It requires inspired action and guidance. So when you say subconscious, your subconscious is your higher self. I just use the word subconscious because it makes people feel better. Like, for those that are not really, really religious, they have, like, everybody is spiritual. Like, you're in your spiritual being or an infinite being inside of a physical body. So you're always connected to spirit source, whether you call upon it, whether you look upon it. When you call within, you're also calling upon spirit and source because it lives within you. So it's really just about using that here to show you all the wonders that it can bring into your life. Yeah. So
Got it.
which day are you on?
That's what I was saying. That's my next question. If we haven't started it, can we go back to your social media and start from day one and then work forward? Do you have them all posted, or what can we?
Oh, let's see. Let's see. Day one. Because okay, so I'm gonna tell you. So the funny ha joke is, I was sitting with myself and saying, you know what do you want to do? As a manifestation coach, what do you want to do? I'm like, you know what? I want to create something that I could do, something that I would do. And I'm not a person who manifests for a long time. I don't have time for that. So I'm like, all my manifestations show up for me when I need them, when I want them, immediately. Like, that's my intention. Like, because I have no patience. So that's my intention. So I was like, okay, for a person like me, could they deal with like a 30-day manifestation like program? I'm like, nope. Could I deal with anything longer than like 60 days? Of like, nope. I'm like, what do you want? I'm like, 21. I'm like, because 21 are emanations of 777, which is like the number of luck and bringing heaven to earth, which is bringing the spiritual realm down to the physical realm. So it's like as above, so below. So I was like, okay, 777, we're doing that.
Okay, that's good.
And
I think we need an ebook or something too, so we can get a copy of this.
So what I did was, as I'm creating it, I'm literally going through all the different practices that I do, and just picking one out from one day to next. Or what's happening to me is I'm actually channeling in the morning, to where I'm like, okay, what are you doing tomorrow? I swear to God, it's like this. What are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, all right. I'm like, you know what? We're gonna go and I'm gonna channel and see what's the message for the day. What's the thing for the day? Like, what's the message for today, according to how my guides are guiding me? And I allow them to come in with the message for the day. Like, they'll literally just show me, like, okay, the 369 method. Right. I was like, okay, when are you going to do that? And they're like, the 6. It's like, okay, got it.
Oh, wow.
And that's, so it's like, I'm literally just like, not even winging it. I'm literally just allowing myself to be guided by my inner higher being and my team to let me know what's going to make the most sense for all the people that are actually doing it, and for the people that are looking at it now and the people that are going to do it in the future. So what's most inspiring, what has them still tuned in and tapped in. So you can't really just like write that straight on through. You have to feel the energy. Today, I was like, today is a rest day. And the reason why today is a rest day, and I haven't posted it yet, was because when you're like making all these things and coming up with energy, if you focus on it, and then you like kind of squeeze it, what you're doing is pretty much telling the universe that you don't trust the process and you have to see it now or it's never going to happen. So what you do is release. So everybody goes to the gym, right? They have to have a rest day.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You're literally going to strain a muscle. So it's really not about, it's rest and release. And what you're doing is you're allowing all the energy that you've been culminating for the past 7 days to go out into the ethers, to allow it to come back and show up to you. But if you keep on creating, how is it going to ever come back to you? It doesn't.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good way to think of it. I never thought about that. So yeah.
Yeah. So day one.
Interesting.
I wish you would have said that. I would have like literally wrote it down and just made sure I remembered the days. Can I remember all of them? I have them. It's in the phone, but I don't want to jump off. Let me see if you can still see my.
That's okay. I mean, I think maybe, that might be something good for you to do, like do a quick little ebook, because that's certainly something we would as listeners and we'd want to do.
I told you I've created it to be able to create the actual workbook for coaching program. So therefore, and then I'm going to also build it out with more information, with background information for people that have never done this kind of work before, to make it kind of really easy and make it like beginner proof.
That's what we need. That's exactly that's what I need. That's what he needs right here.
Well, you have something spiritual.
Am I what?
Very spiritual. You seem
I am. I'm pretty in tune to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Do you have something else coming up soon? Or are you just working on the challenge right now? I know your website
Um,
is in process.
Yeah, so the website is in process for the intuitive reading. So my intuitive
Okay.
coaching sessions are the 30-minute and hour sessions in which I literally connect with just you and your energy, and also with healing messages are coming across from my team about things that you either things that you want, things that you're working on, different healing messages coming about, like different karmic shadow work that you need to do. It's really like an open session, right? And then that's happening with the website. So that's why I'm building the website. And right now I'm doing fall equinox spiritual event. It's in Florida. So because a lot of the people that work with me were physically in Florida, I'm doing it in Florida on the 23rd of September, which is nice. And then I'm doing like retreats and coaching and different things like that, like actually within a venue as opposed to just online. So more to come. I'm just literally like cooking and brewing, and like that's why I said I came to New York to wake and bake, like literally
There
waking
you
up in the
go.
morning with this focus. That's what
I
I'm saying.
like that. I like it. Listen, this has been an incredible experience for me. I'm so glad to meet you and finally talk to you about what you do. Tell everybody how we can get in touch with you and how we can follow you on social media and learn and find out more about what you do.
Yeah, so beautiful. So right now you can follow me on Instagram underneath MySoulRevalation. It's just me with like the woman with the silks on. That's me. And then I'm also creating a website, which is www.mysoulrevalation.com. Right. So that's where I'll be. And then I'll be in like popping up in different places. Just like, but here mainly right now it's Florida and New York. And then I'm going over to California within the next couple of months. So it'll be nice.
I love that. So everyone, please make sure you follow her, My Soul Revelation. Her name is Nikiya. You know what her last name is? Yeah, you know about. Yeah, go ahead. Go.
I have one thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm in Brooklyn, I actually opened up where I'm doing the sound bowl healing meditations, as well as Reiki, Reiki practitionership, where I can tell you the practice, like the messages that your guys are giving me here at Green Moments. It's in Brooklyn. Green Moments is at 315 Green Avenue. I'll be doing that there, where I'll have in-person sessions of sound bowl healing with the crystal bowls and like other sound instruments, as well as doing Reiki. It'll be fun.
I love it. I love it. I might have to take you up on that. Because I gotta know more about Reiki anyway. Yep. Okay. So please, everyone, make sure you follow her and find out more information about that. Yeah. Nikiya, My Soul Revelation, Reiki practitioner. I'm sorry, spiritual coach, badass healer. She just shared her story with us. Make sure you follow her. Follow me at Marcos-Luis, Marcosluis. Make sure you check out my store, Azules EN. Get your elements of healing. Also find the OneMicNite merch. You already know what it is. There's the mug.
Nice. That's really nice. That's so pretty.
Thank you. New t-shirts are available now. The link will be in there, and the link for Nikiya will also be there. Thank you guys for all following me and listening to me for 17 years at OneMicNite. This is the podcast. We'll see you next time. OneMicNite podcast with Marcos-Luis. Bye.
Bye.